Boom, Chinch. What's up, brother?
Let's go. We got the Big Lambooski.
Lambooski's ready to go, too.
He's in the house, and again, every week, it's all about improvement, right? You got to keep battling. You can't hit a baseball the first time you ever pick up a bat. Boo just got a new mic. Talk, Boo. Sing a little bit for us.
Talk to me, fellas. I'm here.
No. Well, you can't lean into it like that. That sounded horrible.
You made it worse, Boo. We made it worse, Boo. You just ruined the whole shtick.
A work in progress, guys. I'm getting better week in and week out. All right.
Yes.
Got the new mic. Got the new room. Okay. I'm ready to go.
Okay. Well, so we're ready to go here. What do we got?
Right,
Where we start?
Hey, before we get going with everything, guys, Hall of Famer Len Dawson passed away last week, and I remember talking to you, Boo, years ago, and you were talking about something about Len Dawson. You have a story about meeting up with Len Dawson at some point.
Now, listen, I wish I would have met up with him, Case, but thanks for remembering that story. I mean, honestly, Len Dawson, when I heard that he passed away last week, man, it just brought back memories of my childhood. So I'm going to educate us fans out here, okay? All right? Those fans of the mayor's office and the Big Lambooski, all right? 1977, HBO picked up a show called Inside the NFL. A guy by the name of Al Meltzer and Chuck Bednarik. Al Meltzer was a play-by-play guy for the Buffalo Bills. Chuck Bednarik, he's just a two-way player, okay? A Hall of Famer case for the Philadelphia Eagles, all right? Two-way player, okay? You know, the modern-day Shohei Ohtani as a football player, okay? Chuck Bednarik. In 1980, those guys left, and Len Dawson and Nick Bonacani, Len Dawson, the Hall of Fame quarterback for the Super Bowl winning MVP, Super Bowl IV, the Kansas City Chiefs, and Nick Bonacani, his own Super Bowl and linebacker for the Miami Dolphins Hall of Famer. They took over a show. Let me tell you guys something, okay? I got to slow down right now because I'm feeling something inside, all right? Inside the NFL was like a religion to me, all right? It was my church. It was my Sunday. It came on at Wednesday night at 10 o'clock. Think about that. In the 1980s, I'm in single digits, okay? In 86, I'm 10 years old, all right? My mother, God rest her soul, Mary Ann Lambert, wherever you are, she let me stay up at 10 o'clock and watch that show. She said to me one thing. She said, Justin, if you give me any shit tomorrow morning about getting up, you will never watch this show again in your life. I bounced up every Thursday morning like it was damn Christmas Day, okay? I never gave her an excuse to not let me watch that show. Guys, it was Wednesday night. It was 10 to 11. They brought you the highlights from every game. Chinch, Case, we talked about the first show in 1992 and getting the results after that. This was everything. There was no ESPN running like what they do nowadays. There were no places where you can actually get the NFL around the league. So Nick Bonacani and Len Dawson, they were solid individuals, had the shirts and ties on every week. They not only went over the games and they brought you in and someone was narrating the game. Now, it wasn't John Facenda, the voice of God. I can tell you that right now. That was totally different. But it was someone giving you the games, bringing you the highlights. So the most highlights of any games you could see that week. And then they would obviously interview some people. And then at the end, they would break down the games for the next week and pick their games. And I just was enthralled by this show. By the way, gentlemen, it's still running today. Showtime picked it up in 2000 and something. And now it's on some Paramount. I don't even know what Paramount is. That's how... But it's still running today.
I have Paramount Network because I like to watch Yellowstone, and you have to get Paramount Plus to watch it. Oh. You're so cheap. That's why you don't know what Paramount is.
I'm telling you else to watch Inside the NFL. That's it. Well, listen, 1989, Chris Collinsworth became like an on-air host for them, and then they started actually came on a couple years later as the third host. Guys, shout out to Len Dawson. I basically waited for that man to come on. They were professional, him and Nick Bonacani. They brought me through 20 years of football. Like I said, the show's still going on today, 1977, guys. They're doing something
pretty cool.
I just wanted to start the show with a shout out to Len. Nick Bonacani died in 2019. The both of them, man, rest in peace. Part of my childhood. Mary Ann's up there with them, chilling, saying thank you for letting my son, for bringing happiness and joy to my son. So
nice.
I'm sure Mary Ann's hanging out with Nick Bonacani and Len Dawson right now going, hey, guys, tell you what, if my son had given me any lip getting up for school, he was never watching your show again, guys.
Good story, bro. I like that. All right, so where are we starting? Case, you're kicking it up. Go ahead.
Well, dude, I want to get into this. I want to get into this a little bit, Chinch, because when we're doing our drafts, and we got our draft coming up, the big one. We're doing our drafts. couple things we always wait on. We always wait on quarterbacks and the kickers and defenses. Now, a lot of teams, some of the guys get out early on the kickers and defenses. They're like, hey, we got to get on the Vikings or the Steelers. Boo, talk to me a little bit about what's your philosophy with kickers and defenses?
Well, Case, when I was watching Inside the NFL and you were watching The Love Boat, okay, and Dukes of Hazzard, okay, somebody was actually educating themselves about football. Somebody else was doing their own thing. All right. Anyway,
Casey's worth millions, and you and I are grinding right now. That's just.
Weren't we then for Halloween one year at Richmond? Anyway, truth be told, I get sick to my stomach when somebody mentions kickers and defenses to me. I've been saying it for years, way before it was cool to say it. But I'm like, listen, there is way too much turnover in terms of what defenses actually become good year to year. I mean, off-season moves, draft picks, anything. I mean, look at Micah Parsons and what he did to the Dallas Cowboys last year. Nobody thought the Dallas Cowboys were going to be that good of a defense. Micah Parsons comes along. They were the number one fantasy defense at the end of the year, So I always target a few teams that have no business going in, thinking they're going to finish in the top 12, and they always do. A couple years ago was Tampa. The year before they did. Last two years, last year was Buffalo. Again, I'm picking in the second to last round or in the last round. It's the same thing. Kickers, come on, you got a guy like McPherson. Somebody called me the other day. One of my buddies called me the other day and tried to help me out with his draft. Let me ask you a few questions real quick. It's in the 13th round. The kickers are going. I was like, listen, do me a favor, all right? Hang up, shut up, and then call me back. You don't even talk to me about kickers until it's your last round or two. Like, I don't want to hear it. Justin Tucker is one of the best kickers in the history of the game. He finished 7th last year. People drafted him early, like McPherson. He was an afterthought rookie for the Cincinnati Bengals. He finished like 9th. These are waiver wire guys you can pick up at any time.
Right.
I will tell you this right now about kickers, and it's the last thing I promise you that I will talk about in this show about kickers. I will cut you mid-air in the football does not go through the uprights on my team. Release. Like I'll pick up the next guy. I'll stream the next guy. I'll do it for a game. Maybe I don't have a guy in a Thursday night game, and I love football, so I pick up the kicker, start him. Who knows? He gets 3 opportunities. He gets 4. He kicks 3 field goals. I get 10 points. I'm happy as a pig, and you know what? I don't care about kickers. Don't mention them to me. Defenses, every year. I like the Chargers this year. The Chargers. You know a guy by the name of J.C. Jackson? Yeah, he was the 20th overall rated player by the players this year on the top 100 list. J.C. Jackson went to New England on 9 and 8 back-to-back seasons of interceptions. Now he goes and plays with Darwin James, the number 1 safety or highest paid safety in the league, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, a couple other guys. Watch out. The Chargers weren't very good, and I know they're playing a tough division. Yeah, I'll take a chance in the last round of Chargers. You can draft whoever you want. It's not going to make a difference at the end of the day. Draft running backs, wide receivers, get depth. All right, I'm done.
All right. Jeez Louise, dude. It's funny. I drafted.
Dude, you sound like.
Go ahead, Case. What were you going to say?
I said, you sound like Peyton Manning when he was talking about Vanderjagt. He's like, this guy's a kicker. Guy's a kicker.
A drunken kicker.
He gets it.
Exactly.
But dude, it turns out, listen, Pat McAfee's my guy, and I look at Pat and I go, listen, this guy's for the brand. This guy was a difference maker, all pro punter. Those guys make a big difference, punters and kickers. Maybe not in fantasy, but in real life, they make a difference, boo. I got to back them up.
Okay, listen, I have no problem with that. Real life, that's great. You know what? Kickers are important. You know what I mean? So you could be an Adam Vinatieri in the sands of time, and you could be a Norwood. I get that. For me in fantasy, you're nothing to me.
Right.
You're expendable. Okay, you're expendable asset. All right, like Arnold in Predator, they're expendable assets. All right.
All right. Good. There you go. All right. Wow. Carl Weathers reference there too. All right. So we move on. Let's get away from kickers and defense. We're not talking about that. This segment. I don't care what anybody says. Just the title of the segment makes me very excited. We are a week away from our drafts, pretty much, or people are drafting tonight all the way through the rest of the week, right? We're calling this segment Late Round Lamb Chops from the Lambooski case. Late round.
That makes me hungry.
Yeah.
That makes me hungry. When I hear lamb chops, I don't care if they're late round or early round. I like them.
Yeah. So explain a segment and then just get after it. Just go, boo. Just get on your way.
Basically, this one is simply for, those middle to late round guys that everyone's looking at. And by now, I'll probably repeat a couple names that you've been hearing on the TVs and stuff because we do this once a week. But Case and you, Chinch. I mean, I've been telling you these guys' names. We just don't have enough time in each episode to go over everyone. The first guy I'm going to go over again. It's very interesting, but I'm going to say some stuff that you're going to like. Rashad Penny, okay, out there in Seattle, mostly a forgotten man because Kenneth Walker Jr., who played at Michigan State, big time rookie, comes on in and he's like the talk of the town. Hernia injury, okay? Not even really practicing right now. So it really opens the door for Penny. But I can tell you this right now. In Pete Carroll's mind, who likes veteran guys, likes to stick with those guys, let me tell you about Rashad Penny. Big time injury history with them. Couldn't really stay on the field, all right? Last year, he comes back from his injury. The last 5 games of the season, he was the running back number 1. I'm going to repeat that for people. 1. Okay, not 2, not Jonathan Taylor, he was running back number 1 for the last 5 weeks of the season when he finally took over. Chris Carson had the neck injury, was gone for the year, and it was his time to say, come back from the injury. 18 carries, 134 yards on the ground average over 5 weeks. They signed him in the offseason to a 1-year deal because he ran out of time. He was a 2018 first round draft pick out of San Diego State. A la Marshall Faulk, thank you. And so he comes around and all of a sudden he's the forgotten man. Well, he's healthy. He does have COVID right now, but I'm hoping that doesn't, because Kenneth Walker now has an injury. And what I know about rookie running backs and anybody, like you need to be able to hold up in pass protection. You need to be able to do a lot more things in this game than just run the football. And Rashad can do those things. He just hasn't stayed healthy. So again, Rashad Penny, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th round, double digits, like afterthought. Yeah, count me in. All right. The next guy that I'm going to talk about is Damian Pierce, and he's gained a lot of steam lately. And again, this was a guy going in the 10th, 11th round when I first really wanted a crack at him. But like most drafts, you should be doing your draft around now because now all the cuts came out. Certain guys that you might have drafted, you don't have to worry about now because the teams are now final. Today at 4:00, it was the final 53 for each team. So a guy like Damian Pierce, he was getting first-team reps in the winter. He was getting first-team reps in the summer. You start to like to hear that, and then you want to kind of see past that eye test. Well, he has done that and some. They were showing some clips in the other day. Great footwork, all right? There's really nobody there for competition at all. So, like, Damian Pierce, you're getting a starting. I took him in a mock draft today in the 6th round, and I was quite okay with it. You're talking about a starting running back in the NFL, and Houston's sneaky good. Their offensive line is sneaky good, and that quarterback, he's better than you think. So, like, I take a look at that and I go, okay, maybe the defense won't be good. Maybe they're playing from behind. Dump off passes. He did that well in college. I just really like Damian Pierce right now for where you're getting him. I think he's great value. Going on, my friend, moving on to one of our very own Pittsburgh Steelers, George Pickens. All right. Case. I probably shouldn't be asking you this, but, the bottom line is if you're in Pittsburgh right now and you've paid attention to anything that's gone on, George Pickens is the talk of training camp. I mean, they talk about that guy every day, like mossing people, calling out our veteran defensive backs, going out and just making plays over them. Let's not forget, George Pickens, before he got hurt in college, some people consider him one of the number 1, wide receivers coming out this year. Okay. Not only that, there are people in Georgia that say he's going to be better than AJ Green. Whoa. AJ Green's had a pretty good career. Okay. Still getting it done. He's out in Arizona at the back end of his career. But for a while, AJ Green was, top 2, 3, 4, 5 receiver in this league year after year. You're going to be better than AJ Green. Now, granted, my man, Bill Parcells used to say, let's not break out the anointing oil just yet. But I'll tell you right now, this guy makes plays. He's grimy. He's a dog, not just a Georgia Bulldog. He's a dog in the run game. Man, did I enjoy watching him get after it in some practice they were showing about just in the run game. That just excites me. I think George Pickens, especially for dynasty or keeper league players, man, that guy's going to be something. And he's going in like the 12th, 13th, 14th round, I used to watch Dynasty too back in the day. Love you and my mom. She loved it too, So, a guy right now I'm going to give some love to, and he's just a favorite of the late round lamb chops and the Lambooski. Jamal Williams, running back. Now, don't people get it mixed up with my man Williams, the wide receiver from Alabama. That's with Detroit. He's got the knee injury right now. Again, another late round guy you can think of because, again, you never know, especially in keeper leagues. Get those guys late. He'll come back fully healthy next year. But Jamal Williams was very good in Green Bay with Aaron Jones for a long time. They split carries pretty much evenly at one point. Matter of fact, Jamal was the backup, played 1B. Every time he got in the game, it was like, man, this guy's got it. Great in pass protection, receives the ball clean out of the backfield, runs hard through the tackles, just really good in space. All of a sudden, he signs a nice contract to go over to Detroit. The reason why more people don't know his name is because as Deandre Swift is always banged up a little bit and missed some games, Jamal Williams missed him too. He got banged up the same time he did last year. So you didn't get a chance to really see Jamal Williams flourish behind that really good offensive line and as that team was getting better. So it was bad timing for him to be hurt because Swift is the 1A there. But I'm telling you, sleep on Jamal Williams and you're sleeping on a guy that can easily move in there. And let's be honest, DeAndre Swift hasn't played more than 13. Last year was the most amount of games he's played in his career. So if you can get a Jamal Williams in the 13th, 14th, 15th round as a key backup, and that guy gets a chance to play, receptions out of the backfield in PPR, which we like, great between the tackles, the offensive line is set up to have success. Yeah, those are guys I like to target. I'm in. So I'll just talk about two more guys and then we'll get on. Okay. Isaiah Pacheco. Obviously, he's gained steam. I looked at a couple fantasy shows, people talking about him. You know why I was on him? Because he's a Rutgers boy, okay? And that's Dirty Jersey, okay, baby? And so when you pay attention to Dirty Jersey and you used to live there, okay, and you're always repping, you know the guys that come out of Rutgers. I said it when I watched Rutgers play. I used to tell my friends, man, it's Pacheco, dude. Dude, he runs hard. I didn't know he was going to run a 4.37 at the 40 and be the fastest running back, at the combine. I think he tied with somebody. Dude, he's a height and weight guy. He's a big dude running a 4.37 40. And sometimes, we talk about guys that have that front line speed, that straight line speed. He's got some dip in him. He's got it all. And Andy Reid, he is not afraid to throw you out in the mix if you actually can get the job done. He don't care where he drafts you, So Pacheco is a guy that I'm like, I want a lot of shares of. I mean, obviously we know Clyde Edwards-Helaire and his injury bug and the fact that he just, it just hasn't come together for him. And it May 9th. Now, Jerick McKinnon is there, and I want people to sleep on him because when he got a chance last year, he was very good at that offense. And again, there's certain offenses. We talked about you getting 3.5 yards of carry last week in San Francisco's offense case. Like, you probably get 3.2 in Kansas City's offense, like no doubt about it. Okay, pulled hammy, pulled quad, pulled calf coming, but you're getting 3.2 yards per carry. So Pacheco is just a guy that, man, he so passes the eye test. And when Andy falls in love with you, he's going to give you opportunities. Definitely a guy I want shares of.
All right. You got one more, you said, or you got them all?
Yeah. You know what? I do have one more, and this guy, like, to be honest with you, Romeo Doubs, all right? So Doubs is the wide receiver for the Packers, all right? He had a lot of hype early in the summertime. Rodgers called him out saying he really likes him, and their coaching staff pretty much came out and were like, listen, we're not treating this guy like an ordinary rookie. Like, we're expecting something from this guy. Now, obviously, Devontae Adams is out of town, and, there's something to be said about, a guy like that leaving town. But you know what I did, boys? I did some research, okay? Okay, the Big Lambooski did some research, and this is what I'm bringing at you, all right? Aaron Rodgers, okay? Without Davante Adams in the lineup, he has a passer rating of 112.7. He has 24 TDs, 3 interceptions in 11 games without Davante Adams on the field. This just in. Aaron Rodgers is good at football, okay? He can sling it. If he likes you, that's good. He likes Romeo, that's good enough for me. At this point in drafts, if I'm looking for a guy that can really turn my seat, like late round value, these are the guys that I'm looking at, because again, it's Aaron Rodgers. He likes him. The coaching staff is saying we're expecting more out of this guy as a rookie. Christian Watson was supposed to be their big time guy. This is the way the NFL is. He got banged up a little bit. You get passed up. Romeo Doubs has passed him up. And we'll see how it works out. I mean, there's only Alan Lazard there, who I do like. You got your man, Randall Cobb. He's the old GOAT, the veteran there. But then after that, it's like totally wide open. So a guy like Doubs, I want a piece of that. And I'm going to get a few pieces of it, okay? Just like my lamb chops, all right?
Dude, so you said this to me about this guy. Boo, you're out of shot out of a cannon every 10 seconds. This is great. Well, this is the easiest show.
You brought me on a show that just hits all of my passions. Yeah. Sorry, Chinch, go ahead.
No, it's good. I'm just saying, like, this is the easiest show we do because we go, hey, Boo, go. And you just knock out like 9 things. It's so much easier than the other shows, right, Case? So here, this is a fun thing. This is an experiment. In case you'll like this too. So everybody right now, we think you should be doing mock drafts, right? You do a mock draft, get on a mock page, do something like that. And then you kind of, for me personally, I do it a lot. You get a feel for like, oh, wait, every mock draft I did, that guy was still sitting there that nobody's drafting at that spot. So first, I'm going to ask you a question right now. You can be, you can be as long and brief as you can. Be a little brief with this one. But like, explain how you do mock drafts, where sites you go on to do mock drafts, and in case I have an experiment, and we're going to try to do a live mock draft in like less than 5 minutes, which I think I can pull off if I have this all set up right. So, Boo, first and foremost, explain your mock draft philosophy, what sites you go on, what sites you like that you would recommend to our fans right now who are about to draft in the next 3-4 days. Go for it.
Yeah, listen, I belong to Fantasy Pros. I pay the yearly subscription to Fantasy Pros. I think they do a great job with everything. There's so much on their site, it's almost like overkill. But one of the things they have on their site is a draft simulator, and you can pretty much load your league's rules and settings and everything, and it will promulgate every guy in your league to your scoring system.
And it does it just like that.
Just like that.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's great.
Case, I told you about that. I'm like, dude, I got our league, you know what I mean, with the boys in there, and I do drop mock drafts that way. And obviously, if I just really want a quick one, ESPN, because they have millions of them going all the time, and it's scoring systems that, you can kind of get your PPR, your standard, your half PPR, and they're going all day long. They fill up within seconds. So if you're pressed for time, bang into an ESPN draft, that's fine. But Fantasy Pros is definitely the site that I love to go to for my information. And like you said, I run the draft simulator. Like, it brings your league in there. Like, there's nothing better than that out there.
Got it. Okay, so Case, you ready for this? It's going to be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And you chime in whenever you think agree or disagree with this. So again,
I'd be careful with that.
So it's Fantasy Pro. So I'm about to start a mock draft. Like Boo just said, I brought my league into this. And for you, Boo, just to put in your head, it's a half-point PPR league. Mm-hmm. It's a keeper league, but you can actually bring keepers in, and you can take guys out of the thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I got to actually, in this league that I'm in, I kind of, the way the world of football is going right now, I think a lot of people aren't going to keep too many people this year. But that being said, so just think about it this way. Put your thinking cap on, Boo. You have the 6th pick right now in a half-point PPR league. We're going to do a Fantasy Pros mock draft that's like a lightning draft, and they're going to give me four or five options I think they give you as their suggested picks. You then will tell me, with every pick, of all the 4 guys I mentioned, which guy you would go with and why. But let's try to do it super quick, okay?
Yeah.
You ready for this? Case, you fired up about this? You think this is dumb?
Yeah, this is great.
It's really right off the jump. I love it.
All right, so start new mock draft. Boom, here we go. Start drafting. And as you see it here, this is how this league goes. See? They get it right to you. Okay. So I have the 6th pick. Here are my options right now. Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Jamar Chase.
I would go Justin Jefferson. Case liked him last week. We talked about him. Think he can finish number 1 if things break right for him in that offense.
Okay, boom, drafted him. Okay, draft keeps
Bing,
going.
boom, bang.
Boom, 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 boom. I'm up right now. Here are my 4 picks. Aaron Jones, Leonard Fournette, Nick Chubb, or Deebo Samuel.
Wow. Okay. You know what? I like Deebo Samuel. I want that wide receiver combo to start. Let's see how that works out for us, and we'll go from there.
Really? So over Jones, over Fournette, who you said last week who you liked, and over Chubb, you don't like Chubb as much as that's why you.
No,
Chubb's
I
out
do.
because,
I like them all, but like I said, I look at Deebo Samuel, and you're in the second round, you're in the mid-second round, and I say, you know what? That guy, he's something.
Boom.
Value. He's a good value.
There we go. We picked him. Here we go. Draft keeps going. Boom, boom, boom. We're up. We got 4 options here. Travis, how do you say it? Etienne Jr.?
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts, A.J. Brown, or T. Higgins? You're on a clock, Boo.
Let's go with Travis Etienne.
Okay, let's go with Travis Etienne. Okay, here, let me just give a real quick thing. Here's our team so far. We got running back, Etienne. We got 2 wide receivers in Jefferson and Samuel, which is, I mean, we're locked in right there. Mm-hmm. Hold on. Let's get out of that. Cancel suggested. Next round. Okay, here we go. This is round 4. Breece Hall, George Kittle, Deontay Johnson, or Terry McLaurin? And this is a good question about where Kittle gets drafted. Do you take Kittle in the
I've had
4th?
Kittle enough times. He's burned me enough times to be like, no, they're just a consistency.
And the new quarterback, basically.
Brand new quarterback. I have no idea how they're going to use him.
Okay.
I'm off Kittle.
All right, so fuck Kittle.
I like Johnson there. He's
Why?
just getting better and better.
Okay, Deontay, bam, boom. All right, Deontay's gone. Case, are you liking this so far? We're up now again.
This is great.
Oh, okay. 5th round now. This is a great question here. Okay, we can go A.J. Dillon, Lamar Jackson, Marquise Brown from Arizona, and Darnell Mooney from Chicago. Is this a good spot for Lamar? A.J. Dillon was a first guy. We don't have a quarterback yet. We're in the 5th round.
Don't worry about quarterbacks. We take quarterbacks back to back. See, okay. I don't particularly appreciate the suggestions. I wouldn't draft with their suggestions. I have other guys in my mind right now that I would want.
Okay, let's do. What do we want? What do we need? I can go again. And another good thing about this. Okay, so let's look at our running back options.
Some running backs.
All right, how about A.J. Dillon? We got Antonio Gibson. We got Chase Edmonds, and we got Damian Harris. Or the 4 options they're giving us.
All right, so give me. Remember what we talked about? What's Damian Pierce? Where is he? Is he there? Because if he's available, guess what? I don't want your stupid suggestions, Fantasy Pros. I want the Lambooski suggestions.
Oh, okay. You know? So you want Damian Pierce? Hold on, let me look.
Yeah.
Let's see if he got drafted yet. Oh, wait, Damian Pierce is still draftable. Houston, bye week 6. We like him. He's 81st overall.
I don't see. That's what we do, Chinch. When they zing, we zang. 81st to them.
Or zig and zag.
He fits right now. He's a starting running back.
Okay.
We need a running back. We went 3 wide receiver heavy. So we want to solidify a starting lineup now. I'm not expecting Damian Pierce to be Jonathan Taylor. I'm expecting you to be a 5th round starting running back that if you get me 15 to 20 points a game, I'll win a lot of leagues.
Right. And that's interesting because he's not on their list, but you say him first. What do you got there, Case? You rocking it out? Damian Pierce.
No, I was just looking at a player.
Oh, okay. So should I draft Damian Pierce?
Yes.
Done. Wow, we went off the board big time there. Okay, so here we go. Here's our team. We can do this in 5 minutes. So again, recapping, Travis Etienne Jr., Damian Pierce, now Justin Jefferson, Deebo Samuel were really good there, and Deontay Johnson. We are locked in on wide receivers. So here are the 4 next suggested. Wow, here we go. Darren Waller, interesting. Kyler Murray, Chris Godwin, or Chase Edmonds. I have a tough time with all of those guys. We are round 6 of 16, pick 67.
Okay, so I am enamored by Chase Edmonds this year. When I don't draft a quarterback early, I go down and basically just back-to-back draft them in like 8, 9, or 10. And I get 2 really good guys. And I'll tell you their names in a minute, and I'll let you know that they're going to be available. Like Tom Brady or Matt Stafford, I take those guys a couple rounds later. You can have Kyler Murray. There were certain weeks last year that Kyler Murray, he's sexy and great. He just had nothing. He gave you nothing. You never see that from Tom Brady.
To that point, I just went to the quarterback section, and so we could either, if we did want to get a quarterback here, we could do Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, Tom Brady, or Russell Wilson. I would take any of those guys, I guess, are pretty much the same shot in the dark. So
like when I see Kyler Murray, I let other people draft him. You take him. You deal with his 1 week of 0 points. Tom Brady doesn't get you that. So I like, let me see.
You're taking a quarterback here, Boo?
No, he's not. He doesn't want any of these because what we're saying here is that look at all these options that people might not even draft any of these guys. Or we could not even, whatever. Okay, so between these 4 guys, do you like these 4 guys? Or again, we're in the 6th round. You can ask me if there's somebody who you don't like here. Darren Waller, Kyler Murray, Chris Godwin, or Chase Edmonds. I like Godwin, man. But
Godwin is very, very intriguing to me, and I'll tell you why. I like our wide receiver room right now.
Oh, we got 7 seconds. We got 7 seconds.
Godwin. Done.
I'll tell you why. So go ahead.
Godwin comes back and gets healthier all year. You already got a 3-headed monster. Deontay Johnson gets nicked up a little bit. Somebody gets an injury, and now you're plugging in a guy that would have went in the 2nd round had he not had his ACL, and they're saying that he's going to be ready. So Chris Godwin in the 6th round, yeah, man, take a shot at it.
Interesting. I love it. Okay, so Case, you liking this? This is good, right?
Love it. Yes.
All right, so here's the next suggestions. This is interesting. Schultz, tight end, Dallas. There he is still. Tom Brady is there, so we didn't have to draft a quarterback, even if we want a quarterback here. Damian Harris for New England, and then there's your boy Penny right here that they're asking.
I'll definitely take Penny. Like I said, I'm not going to pass on that right now.
Okay.
Because again, Damian Harris, we know he's got competition in Ramondre Stevenson, and they like Ramondre Stevenson. He's a better pass receptor, and Damian Harris doesn't catch a lot of balls. Rashad Penny, if he starts, he's gonna get it all. You know?
Okay, got it. Let's hit this. That's experts say to draft Schultz 48%. Expert Boo is saying drafting Penny at 4% of the experts. Okay, here we go. All right, so once again, our team right now, no quarterback. We got Etienne and Pierce as running backs.
Travis Etienne Jr.
Whatever.
I got you, Chinch.
Thanks, buddy. Justin Jefferson and Debo, we are locked in there, and Deontay Johnson, and now we have also Godwin. And by the way, this is a two flex, so we're pretty locked right there.
Good.
So Penny right now is on our bench, depending on how we want to do this. All right, here we go.
We have Edmonds. You said we got Edmonds and
team.
Or we got Damian Pierce and.
We never wound up with Edmonds because you took. I think you took Penny over Edmonds.
Who do we have at running back?
Our three running backs are. Say his name again. Etienne.
Travis Etienne.
Okay,
Jr.
Etienne, Pierce.
Okay, good.
And we got Penny. Penny.
Okay, so now
here's the suggestions: Schultz at tight end, Brady at quarterback, Kareem Hunt is still there, or James Robinson. Now we have a lot of running backs. What do you do? You got a minute to make this decision.
I think it's what round are we in? 7?
We are in round 8.
I think it's time for Tom Brady to join our team.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's time for Tom. Terrific.
Is he still there?
He's there. Brady's there. All right, so we got Brady. Wow.
You know what Brady did last year? He led the NFL in passing touchdowns at 45, okay? So, yeah, that's why you wait on quarterback. Take your Kyler Murray, take all that fancy stuff. I take Tom. He's the best competitor on the planet, and he never lets you down. Tom doesn't have Kyler Murray type weeks. He doesn't have them. He wills himself to throw 2 touchdowns if he's having a bad game. He doesn't ever. So I am more in tune to waiting and gathering depth at all my positions. I've always been like that. Okay. So when I play the year, like I can survive an injury or 2. I'm in the money lots of times because of that. You go with a Kyle Murray in a 6th round, and you're missing a chance to get a Damian Pierce, a chance to get somebody, and then you get a Tom Brady. Like I said, we talked about in the first episode, Derek Carr late this year, who I think is going to outproduce. And it's like, I guarantee you there's weeks that Derek Carr blows Murray out of the water. Now, Murray, if you get extra points on the ground, know your scoring system, it might help you. But that's not our league, so I'm not inclined to draft him that early.
All right, so we got less than 50 seconds left here. Here's our next thing. By the way, we have 1 extra running back. So we have 2 slots. We filled up a bunch of wide receivers.
Look at me at tight ends right now. Let's go with tight ends.
You're going tight ends. So here's what they're suggesting, by the way. Tony Pollard's out there. Cordarrelle Patterson's out there. Chase Claypool's out there. Tyler Boyd. You want a tight end right now. Let's look who's out there. Schultz, who we skipped, who we didn't need. Dawson Knox, who has flashes. Ertz and Cole Kmet.
It's a good time for Schultz. He impressed me last year. They're going to throw the ball a lot. I like it. And again, that's why you wait. Schultz.
Yeah, he was a top priority pick on their list last round, and you said no, and he's still sitting there in this round. So that's cool.
And again, Chinch, just to let you know, if we didn't get Schultz and he still wasn't available, I'm okay with Clement. What I do with quarterbacks and I do with tight ends, I'll go back-to-back rounds tight ends right now. I don't know. Really? I'm not deep.
Right,
I'm not strong. Guess what?
Because you're going to do it. You're going to get on a waiver wire anyway.
That like Albert Obo, the guy from Denver that has unbelievable catch rates. Noah Fant was their big time number 1 pick. He's gone out to Seattle, and this guy's taken over, and he's with Russell Wilson, and it's like, dude, this guy can easily be a top 12 tight end.
Right.
And nobody knows about him. Nobody's even going to pick him. That's how I feel about tight end. I'll take 2 guys that I feel like are in good situations. I'll play the matchups. And when it comes to quarterbacks, 8th, 9th, 10th round, Tom Brady, Matt Stafford. Tom Brady, Derek Carr. Guess what?
Got it.
You guys can have the sexy guys. I'll play those matchups. If one's facing a ridiculous defensive backfield,
throw back up in there.
The other one gets thrown in there. See you later. Hasta la vista. Have a good day.
Okay, we got 1 minute here. So right now, by the way, just so you know, we already punted on kicking and defense. We've already established that from the beginning. So all we have left really is bench players until we get to our last 2 rounds because we are loaded everywhere else.
And that is why, like, this is your Pacheco rounds. This is your rounds. Pickens rounds.
Okay, well, so let's do this. We got 45 seconds on the clock for us. Okay. Right now, who are their suggestions? James Cook, running back, Buffalo. Michael Carter, running back, Jets.
Yep.
Hines from Indy, who's up and down. And Devontae Parker, New England. Those are their suggestions.
Don't like any of those guys.
Okay.
Give me Isaiah Pacheco.
You want a running back or a wide receiver? You want to look somewhere else? We got 20 seconds.
I want a running back, Isaiah Pacheco.
Pacheco.
He's not listening, Case.
I know, I'm listening. Oh, the ones
that are... get you off Pacheco.
All right, so let's go Pacheco. Wait, hold on. I can't find him. How do you spell it? Quick.
Pacheco.
Got him. Draft. Got him. We got him.
Nice.
All right. Let's go.
Nice.
All right, let's go. Pacheco.
So we got 2 minutes left. Real quick. Here's our team already. Tom Brady's our quarterback. Etienne, Pierce, Justin Jefferson, Deebo Samuel, Dalton Schultz, Deontay Johnson, Chris Godwin. We also have right now on our bench, and they could mix and match, Rashad Penny and Pacheco. So you got all the guys you wanted so far. So here's our next round that they're suggesting.
Pickens.
Kenneth Gainwell, Michael Gallup, Khalil Herbert, or Zach Ertz?
Neither.
Or do you? Okay, none of those. Do you want a running back, wide receiver, quarterback, tight end?
I would like. Is Chris Olave available?
Let's go. Jeez, look at you. You speaking like another language. How do you spell Olave?
Olave.
Olave has been drafted.
Okay, interesting. Okay, what about George Pickens? We just talked about him.
Pickens, Pick. George Pickens has been drafted.
Okay,
we got a minute left.
Let's talk about Romeo Doubs then.
Romeo.
Guys, I gave you today.
Romeo Doubs is there. Green Bay wide receiver.
About it.
You want Doubs? Romeo Doubs. He's ready. Get him.
Let's go.
All right. Sorry.
Get him.
Jeez.
Part of this, Chinch, is like being like, again. Part of this is being. It's like this. Like I give credit to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and when they draft every year, they walk. The team drafts, and everybody waits for 10 minutes. The Steelers know who they want to draft. It's not. They go up, they hand it in. Okay, the pick is in, and they draft their player. It's like you got to know who you like. You got to stick to your guns. You can't let the draft get away from you because you read an expert says this guy. Expert's my ass. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Excuse me.
Yes.
All right.
No, that's fine.
It's just that's what we do. So like we're like, oh, it's rated here. He's rated there.
Okay.
You know nothing until the year plays out.
Okay, so on our team right now, we have on our bench, we have 2 running backs and a wide receiver. Right now, we have 2 wide receivers in our double flex spot. Plus, so we have a lot of wide receivers. We're in good shape just generally. So here's the suggestions for this round. Round 12 out of 16. Ertz, Knox, Clement.
I like Ertz. I like Ertz right now.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're all telling us to draft. Everybody says at least just draft a backup tight end. So let's go Ertz right now.
You know what? I'm in line with that. If you would have asked me, I would have said it's time for another tight end because again, backup, no backup. It's how you feel. I know that guy from Denver's there, Albert. You can probably look at him. It starts with it's a long last name. I'm not even going to try to butcher it. Right. But like he's a guy that he's my number 2 tight end. For if I get, like I said, if I don't get one of those elite guys and I'm coming around and getting like a Schultz, like a an Ertz and whoever that might be, then I'm looking at Albert as saying, you know what, he's a guy that I'm really high on. I think could sneak in, so I take a shot at him. He might go undraftable to certain people, in certain leagues.
Got it. Okay, wonderful.
So again, I think now we should be looking at a backup quarterback because again, Tom is old. You never know.
Well, let me give you their suggestions right before we go to quarterbacks because we're in round 13 of 16. McKissick, Aguiar from Atlanta, Mostert,
Tyler
Algier, sorry, and Palmer.
That's all right.
All right, but you want a quarterback. Here's the quarterbacks left. Derek Carr is sitting there. Kirk Cousins
don't
is
even say another word.
Okay.
Pick him.
All right.
Pick him.
Derek Carr is
part of our plan. This is part of what the Big Lambooski talked about from week 1. You can't name guys and say you don't want to draft them.
Got it. Okay, so let me ask you this right now. We have 3 picks left. We are loaded. You literally, without even looking at this draft, we are like 50-50 on our bench with wide receivers and running backs. We're in good shape. You got a backup tight end. You got a backup quarterback. Yep. So now we have 3 rounds left. Would you ever go defense or kicker right here?
I can't say that I haven't done it in my 30 years, guys. 30 years, but like I've learned from it. It's not happening. Like a couple years ago, I took Justin Tucker, like in the 13th, like this round, like a round earlier than I ever would. And, he had a good year, but there were other people that led the league. So it was like, it was good, but it wasn't great.
Gotcha.
And like I said, you can stream kickers and defenses, but yeah, like this pick now, because it's my last pick, it's really like a dart throw. It's like a guy like, okay, I really have a strong feeling about this guy.
So here, we got a minute left. Do you want to just think about somebody you've been thinking about? Or so they have Zamir White, Donta Foreman, San Fran defense, or Kyle Osborne as their suggestions. But is there a guy in your head that hasn't been drafted yet you want me to look for? Or did those guys, float your boat?
This is when
it's when the rubber meets the road.
Yeah, it's when the rubber meets the road.
We got 30 seconds.
I was telling you earlier about a guy named like Williams for Detroit. That like, hey, he's hurt. He's not going to be back till later in the year. But like, come on, dude, he was incredible at Alabama.
I think he was drafting. He was drafted. We got 20 seconds.
All right, give me some wide receivers right now.
Wide receivers, okay. Give me Marvin Jones Jr., KJ Osborne, Jalen Tolbert, Wan'Dale Robinson. We got 10 seconds, dude.
Wan'Dale Robinson, rookie from the Giants. Giants got to throw it to somebody.
All right, there you go. Good work, man. So now we're in kicker or here's a question. We got 2 minutes to answer this question. Sometimes I won't draft a defense or a kicker, and then the next day I like to look and see who's been sitting there that whole time. Or maybe I'll drop one of the guys who I like kind of hit the button too quick on or something 100%. And go get my kicker and defense after 100%. The draft is over.
Now, with that, make sure that you have a waiver process before your season.
Right.
Some teams don't allow that and you get stuck. So again, know your rules, because if you want to play that game and you get, you whiff, you swing and miss.
Yeah.
Now
or you might get, you eventually wind up, some leagues have like after 15 waiver pickups, you're dropping $5 every time you want a waiver pickup.
Exactly.
All right, so here's what they're suggesting for 15. You got the Colts there, the Patriots defense there, you got Justin Tucker there, and Tyler Bass there, the kicker for Buffalo.
I'll take Justin Tucker here. I'll take the best in the history of the game.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm actually very happy with him right in that situation, because I think Baltimore is going to be better offensively. They were decimated by injury last year, so he's actually good value there.
All right, so now
last round.
Last round, do you want to grab a defense? We'll grab a defense. I'll tell you who's out there. Dolphins, Packers, Chiefs, Browns are the next suggested, and Browns are way below the other three. Like
I really like the Dolphins team. I think Flores, before he left there, put together a hell of a D. They were tops every year. Like I said, the Chargers are my sleeper D. I know they're left there because they're not going to be in anybody's rankings, but they sure as hell are on mine. The Big Lambooski brings you the Chargers this year, okay, coming at you with some talent. So, like, again, at this point, if I've got Miami, if I got a defense, I'm just going saying, you know what, I want the Chargers. I want a reason to watch the Charger games, you know what I mean, because they're offensive.
Right.
Maybe I got some of their guys on offense. So, again, this is the fun part about fantasy and the fact that it's a dart throw. And, again, if I don't like it, I can easily pick up. There is a defense on the waiver wire, just like a kicker to start the season. They will finish in the top 12. That makes them playable. That makes them one of the people that you should be starting in your league. And that's beautiful. That's why I don't care about kickers and defense.
All right, got it. So you ready for a roster, and then we can do our little goodbyes here. We knocked it out. Case, what'd you think of this, by the way?
Oh, this is great, bro. I love it.
All right, quarterback.
Who was throwing in his own people? I like that.
Yeah. No, we went different, way different on a lot of these. Quarterback, Tom Brady, not bad, pretty good player. Running backs, and this is just mix and match. This is just an order we drafted, probably is how they started them. Etienne Jr., Damian Pierce, and then again, our wide receiver. I love Justin Jefferson and Deebo Samuel. I feel like
were we the sixth pick?
Sixth pick. Oh, that's a good point. Yes, sixth pick overall. Deebo and Justin Jefferson, like, that's the best two. I mean, we probably, arguably, would have the two best wide receivers combo in this league. Dalton Schultz as one tight end. Our backup tight end is Zach Ertz. So, I mean, we're in good shape there. Flex right now, they got Deontay Johnson, Chris Godwin. Oh, by the way, Chris Godwin, like you said, huge. If he puts up a year like he put up two or 3 years ago, I mean, that's a division.
He was having a dominant year last year, man.
Yeah, you're right.
And by the way,
yes,
one of the reasons you pick up Tom is you get that stack. I love having a stack every now and then. If you like that, you know, it's an easy.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the stack. So you're starting Godwin in as much as you can, obviously. Defense is the Dolphins, which everybody loves. Justin Tucker, you can never argue with. And here's who's on our bench. And this is an interesting thing, and this could be the last thing we talk about. So we got Rashad Penny. We got Isaiah, how do you call him? Pacheco?
Yeah, Isaiah Pacheco.
Okay, Romeo Doubs, Zach Ertz, Derek Carr as our backup quarterback, who may wind up, you could argue he has the potential of having a better statistical season than Tom Brady. So that's a really good mix and match. And then Wan'Dale Robinson from the Giants. We're taking a shot on a rookie. We got it. You literally covered every kind of base right here, so this is pretty cool.
Listen, in my drafts, you know, I typically try to wait on tight ends and quarterbacks, and I try to get as much depth at wide receiver and running back as I can, because those are the positions that you can take injuries, and you've got to be able to last, you know, a couple injuries and still battle and be productive. You know what I mean? You know, in your leagues. That being said, Chinch, I'll leave everybody with this. This is when the work begins. We drafted a team. We like our team. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be waiver wires. There's Amon-Ra St. Brown's on the waiver wires. There are people that are going to help you win championships that are not on a team right now. You have to set yourself up, whether it be salary cap, whether it be waiver. You got to set yourself up for success. Don't waste waiver picks if you have a last to first and it doesn't like recalibrate that week again. Because we just voted in one of my CBS leagues with the buddies that I'm with for a long time that this is the first year, and I've said it for years. I don't want the waiver wire to go back to the worst team again. They get the first crack of every good. So by the way, by the end of the year, their team's supposed to stink, and like now I get hurt more towards the end of the year, and I can't do anything about it. My starters get hurt. It should always go. If you don't use a waiver wire, you climb in the waiver wire. If you're number one, you don't use somebody that week, you're number one the second week.
Right.
You are doing so. We now voted enough to say yes finally. So happy about that.
The last thing I'll say is a lot of people spend. That's probably like, you know, it's probably, who knows the way it is this year. Was it $100 a year to get like a Fantasy Pros suggested draft help, all that stuff? You went off the board. What was it, 3 or 4 times? You went off the board of their suggested picks, and so that's where your balls come in, right? To be honest, you got to go with your balls at a certain point. It's all about balls.
Case and I talked about it. I mean, Case and I always agree that Matt Clement, you know, Matt Clement is one of the best fantasy football guys that I know, and Matt's in the area with us in Pittsburgh. We see him. His son played against Casey's son, you know, in basketball and baseball. So we've run into Matt. I've always appreciated Matt for saying, these are the guys I like, and I draft them. And they're never what the experts say. And Matt's always in the money. So years ago, I told Case, I go, screw this. You know, we're insane if we don't do a little bit of what Matt's doing and stop worrying about what a magazine says or what some expert. Who are you to be an expert? Like, I got 30 years of skin in the game. Like, does that make me an expert? Sure as hell hope so. You know what I mean? Or something like that. So I'm going to go with my gut, what I like, and it's my team at the end of the day.
Okay.
That's what makes it fun.
I love it. All right. Hey, fellas, I just realized this. So we dropped this on Wednesdays, right? So we, by next week, should have your draft completed.
We draft on the 7th, which is the Wednesday before the Thursday night game. So Wednesday will be our draft, and then we draft on Thursday. Okay. So we'll have one of our drafts. But again, 8th pick in both drafts, so I'm interested. And again, I've done a million mocks, getting a million different. And again, on draft day, it always changes. Somebody, like I said, Matt Clement comes up and he's like, boom, he takes that guy you thought he'd be available in that round. And you got to shake and move, and you got to, you know, be able to maneuver. And again, have your guys feel confident. And when you press that button, it's like, it's my guy.
Got it.
Ride with me.
Boo. As the GM and as the owner of our team, I'm very excited about how prepared you are. Because every year you're prepared, you're ready to kick ass and ready to win the championship. So I'm, as the owner of our teams, I'm just very thankful that you're my GM. Let's go.
Well, you know what, Sean? I appreciate you and all that you've done. Like I said,
you worked so hard on this mock draft too. Casey was like, "What? Who do you want, Boo? Who do you want? Pick somebody, Boo."
Dude, you know what's incredible? My kids, all my friends call Boo too. Like, I'm like, yeah. He's like, I got a fantasy draft. I'm calling Boo tonight. I'm like, does Boo do anything on the weeknights besides everyone's fantasy football draft? Fucking ridiculous.
Dude, I'm hot right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting calls every 10 minutes. I had to put my phone on silent right now, man. It's by the way, in the fantasy season, boys. Draft season.
By the way, if you're watching this on our YouTube page, he did this. There's no notes. There's no book in front of him. There's no names in front of him. It's not like he was like He wasn't on a website. I'm telling you, go to the YouTube page to watch this draft we just did. He just did it off the top of his head. It literally, like, normally I kind of wind up with so much stuff in front of me that I'm like, I just want to set my hair on fire because I can't look anywhere. I just can't look anymore. Boo just did this mock draft that, by the way, I didn't tell the guys that we were going to do. I was like, I think I have an idea that might work. And it certainly did work because, Boo, you freaking just dominated that thing.
I think in round 4 you might have like said some guys, and I was like, I wonder if I could pick my own guys because I don't like them. I don't like any of those suggestions.
Well, that's when we started going off the board.
They were suggesting our draft, so it actually I think the ATN pick might have been like, you know what? Okay, he's up there. We're running out of time.
Oh,
okay.
I got you.
But again, you got to deal with that sometimes in the draft.
Yeah, that's true.
I do have one question that I picked up. When you go back and listen to this, you were talking about the Fantasy Pros website. And you said that the Fantasy Pros website, they'll promulgate your team. Is that a word? Promulgate?
Hey, Chinch, can you look that up for me, bro? Because you said, I don't deal with computers and stuff.
Oh, wait a minute.
He's like, you go to Fantasy Pros, they'll promulgate your team for you. I'm like, the hell's promulgate? I went to Richmond. You went to Richmond.
Casey's
I never saw that word.
Casey, I'm looking at the different. He's right.
What? It's a word?
He said what? They will promulgate. Fantasy Pros will promulgate your team.
If this is a word, I'm out of here. You guys do the show.
Here's the definition.
Don't underestimate the Big Lambooski.
Is it really a word?
Here's the definition of promulgate: to promote or make widely known an idea or cause. These objectives have to be promulgated within the organization. He's right, Case. It's a real word.
Wow, that's incredible.
You didn't go to that English class that week, huh?
I've never seen this word, and that's why Boo's Boo. The Big Lambooski even knows what promulgate means, everybody. You guys.
Make known publicly as well.
You know what, guys? I want people to sleep on me. That's when I come up and bite you. And you're doing the exact thing, Case. You've done it for 30 years now, okay? All right? Nothing's changed, okay?
Dude, I've never doubted you. I've never slept on you, bro. Only the one time I took Terrell Owens in the third, and the guy was a freaking backup receiver. I think he had a blown ACL out. It's no big deal.
Wow. Boo's like a wounded dog. Don't go near him. Don't pull that thing out.
Don't go near him. Hey, listen, guys, I really enjoyed it, man. This is like the highlight of my week, and I appreciate you guys.
All right, dude.
Great job, bro. Way to bring it, bro. We'll look forward till next week. And I was telling Chinch, I said, you think this is great? Wait till the season starts and we actually have content to talk about. And people, it gets a million times better. Because I've been hearing it for 30 years in my freaking ear. I'm like, somebody else has to hear this guy talk football.
You're going to hear it if you like it or not, Case.
Oh, my God. All right, fellas. Well, we did it, Case.
All right, brother. Thank you, man. Hey, for all the people out there, tell your friends about the Lambooski Mayor's Office presents the best fantasy football show out there. Subscribe to us, download, pass it on. See you guys next week.